Between the years of 1764 and 1767, the province of Gévaudan in south-central France was terrorized by a large and powerful predator that seemed to evade capture and killed hundreds of people. To this day, the Beast of Gevaudan is still one of the most brutal and shocking cases of a man-eater that the world has ever known. The first recorded attack happened in the early summer of 1764. A young woman was tending cattle in the Mercor forest close to the town of Langon and saw an enormous beast stalking her. Luckily, there were many large bulls amongst the herd that fended the animal off. It tried to get to her a second time, but was once again charged by the bulls and left. The lady reported what had happened and described it as being like a wolf, yet not a wolf. On June 30th, the beast would claim its first documented victim, 14-year-old Jean Boulette. Another girl was killed on August 8th in the Allier Valley. Both had their throats torn open. Throughout August and September, the beast preyed on more and more people, and the town of Gévaudan was struck with fear. Men, women, and children were regularly being found dead, all in the same manner with injuries to the neck and face only. People began to think that the creature was supernatural and that it could not be found or killed and would go on forever. Given the high number of attacks and the fact that they seemed to happen almost simultaneously in two areas at once, it was theorized that there must be more than one animal. Reports had come in that this strange creature had been spotted with its young, and sometimes with another animal. On December 31st of that year, the Bishop of Maine Gabriel Florent de Choiseul-Beaupré claimed that the beast had been sent as the justice of God. King Louis XV heard a story of a family of 7 who were attacked by the creature, but managed to defeat it by grouping together and repeatedly fought it off. Touched by their bravery and alarmed at the situation, he promptly donated 300 livres to Portefaix and declared that the French state would help capture and kill the beast. By this time, stories of the Beast of Gevaudan were spreading all across Europe. Some countries mocked the French, saying that they could not deal with a simple-minded animal, and Captain Duhamel of the Clermont Prince Dragoons, which were a high-ranking infantry unit, were brought in to deal with the problem. On several occasions, Duhamel spotted the beast, but efforts to kill it were thwarted by incompetence, and he grew increasingly frustrated with the whole situation. King Louis heard of this and hired 2 expert wolf hunters, Jean-Charles and Jean-François. Although it was not certain what the animal actually was, a large wolf was thought to be the likely culprit. Captain Duhamel returned to his home, as his approach differed so much from the wolf hunters, who believed that the animal could be killed only by being stealthy. Over the next 4 months, they hunted many wolves, yet the attacks continued, and in 1765, they were replaced by François Antoine, who organized what would be known as the Great Hunt, which finally produced a promising result. Marie-Jeanne Vallée, who was 20 years old and the servant of the parish priest of Paulhac, was crossing a footbridge when the beast appeared. The other women she was with took a few steps back, but the beast threw itself on Marie-Jeanne. She managed to thrust her spear into its chest. The animal fell into the river and disappeared into the woods. This story quickly reached Antoine, who fled to the scene. He saw that the spear was covered in blood and concluded that the traces found were similar to those of the beast. In a letter written to Saint Florentin, minister of the king's house, comparing Marie-Jeanne to Joan of Arc, and nicknamed her the Maid of Gévaudan. On September 20th, Antoine killed a very large gray wolf measuring 80 centimeters high, 1.7 meters long, and weighing 130 pounds. The wolf, which was named Le Loup de Chasses after the nearby Abbaye de Chasses, was said to have been exceptionally large for a wolf. Antoine stated, "We declare by the present report signed from our hand, we never saw a big wolf that could be compared to this one. Hence, we believe this could be the fearsome beast that caused so much damage." The animal was then identified as the culprit by many attack survivors, who recognized the scars on its body inflicted by victims defending themselves. Among them were Marie-Jeanne Vallée and her sister, who claimed it was the animal she speared. Antoine was hailed as a hero, and the body was displayed for all to see. He then took a select few and camped out in the forests near Abbey of Chasses, as he needed to find the wolf's mate and 2 cubs, which had been sighted numerous times. On October 19th, he succeeded in shooting the female wolf, and it was reported that the cubs were already as large as she was. After successfully killing all 3, Antoine headed back to Paris, where he was greeted with fame and fortune. After a few months, however, there was some bad news. On December 2nd, 2 boys aged 6 and 12 were attacked, suggesting that the beast was still very much alive. It tried to capture the youngest child, but was successfully fought off by the older boy. Soon after that, even more attacks followed, and one morning, some shepherds witnessed a giant beast that was stalking their cattle and showed no fear of them at all. A dozen more deaths are reported to have followed attacks near La Bessere-Sainte-Marie. King Louis did not want to hear any more about the beast, having deemed the whole situation dealt with, and the newspapers stopped reporting them. Unfortunately, the attacks were only getting worse. Without the state to help them, farmers and villagers had to fend for themselves. Poisoned carcasses were left out as bait, and small hunting groups patrolled the land, but all to no avail. The Beast of Gevaudan was becoming stealthier and more deadly each day. The populace did not know what else to do, except to pray, and pilgrimages to Notre Dame were a popular occurrence. But just when it seemed that all hope was lost, on June 19, 1767, the beast was shot and killed by a local hunter named Jean Chastel. The body was taken to the king, where it was determined to be a large wolf. However, the carcass was rotting, so it was buried somewhere in the grounds. After that, there were no more attacks. On the 20th of June, 1767, which was the day after the animal was killed, the royal notary Roch-Étienne Marin wrote an autopsy report. It is known as the Marin Report and can be read to this day. Interestingly, Marin said this animal, which seemed to us to be a wolf, but extraordinary and very different by its figure and its proportions from the wolves that one sees in this country. By studying the teeth, it was deemed to be canine-like, but eyewitnesses had seen it jump over walls that a canine could not cross. It was also described by many to be taller at its front side than its hindquarters. Also, wolves were a serious problem in France and the rest of Europe during this time, and it would seem unlikely that anybody would not know what they look like. It has been theorized by some, despite what the Marin report said, that the animal was either a large hyena or lion. Others say it could have been a wolf hybrid or a wolf suffering from gigantism. The Beast of Gevaudan killed approximately 113 people and seriously injured 49 more during its reign of terror. What do you think the animal was? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.